83% of people using AI for work believe they're just being efficient. But neuroscientists have discovered their brains show the exact same patterns as gambling addicts. It's called algorithmic dependency. And if you can't remember the last time you solved a problem without AI, there's a 7 out of 10 chance your critical thinking skills are quietly disappearing. Let me reveal 7 psychology facts that prove you're more dependent than you realize. How many times have you asked ChatGPT a question today? Checked an AI-generated response? Used an AI tool to help you work, write, or decide something? Now here's a more uncomfortable question. Could you go a full week without it? If that question made you feel a little anxious, you're not alone. Today, millions of people report using AI for everything from daily scheduling to emotional support. And while AI tools have revolutionized how we work, learn, and even think, there's a darker side emerging that psychologists are urgently trying to understand. AI addiction. I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about real psychological dependence that's affecting millions of people right now. The kind where you can't make a simple decision without consulting an AI. Where you feel genuine anxiety if your AI assistant isn't available. Your critical thinking skills are quietly eroding because you've outsourced them to algorithms. Before we dive into the 7 psychology facts you need to know, quick question. Do you think you're dependent on AI, or do you just use it as a tool? Be honest with yourself and drop your answer in the comments. And if you're new to Mind Decode, welcome. We break down the psychology behind modern life so you can navigate it more consciously. Hit that subscribe button because this conversation is only getting more important. Let me tell you about Marcus. He's a 32-year-old marketing manager who uses AI for everything. Writing emails, making decisions, planning his day, even helping him process his emotions. One day, his internet went down for 6 hours, and Marcus had a full-blown panic attack. Not because he couldn't work, but because he felt completely helpless without his AI assistant. He couldn't even decide what to eat for lunch without asking AI first. Marcus's story isn't unique. It's becoming the norm. So let's decode what's really happening in our brains when we become dependent on artificial intelligence. Fact number 1. AI triggers the same reward pathways as social media. Your brain doesn't know the difference between validation from a human and validation from an AI. When ChatGPT gives you a well-written response, when an AI tool solves your problem instantly, your brain releases dopamine, the same neurochemical involved in addiction. Neuroscientists have discovered that AI interactions activate the brain's reward system in remarkably similar ways to social media likes, gambling wins, or even substance use. Every time you get a helpful AI response, your brain gets a little hit of pleasure. AI provides instant gratification. No waiting, no effort, no uncertainty. You ask a question, you get an answer, immediately. This constant availability trains your brain to expect instant solutions to every problem. And over time, this can actually rewire your neural pathways, making you less tolerant of the natural delays and frustrations that come with human interaction or independent problem solving. Think about it. When was the last time you sat with a problem for an hour, thinking it through yourself, before turning to AI? Fact number 2. We're experiencing cognitive offloading at unprecedented levels. Cognitive offloading is a psychological term that refers to the use of external tools to reduce our mental effort. It's not new. We've been doing it since we invented writing to remember things instead of memorizing them. But AI has taken cognitive offloading to an extreme level that psychologists have never seen before. We're not just offloading memory anymore. We're offloading thinking itself. Decision-making, problem-solving, creativity, critical analysis, all the higher-order cognitive functions that define human intelligence, we're increasingly delegating to AI. Research from cognitive psychology shows that the more we offload cognitive tasks, the weaker those mental muscles become. It's like going to the gym and having a machine do all your lifting for you. Sure, the weight gets moved, but your muscles don't get stronger. In fact, they atrophy. A recent study found that students who used AI writing assistants extensively showed measurably weaker critical thinking and writing skills after 6 months compared to students who wrote independently. Not because AI was making errors, but because the students' brains weren't practicing the complex cognitive work of organizing thoughts, choosing words, and constructing arguments. The psychological risk here is profound. As we offload more cognition to AI, we risk creating a generation of people who can't think deeply without technological assistance. If you're finding this valuable, do me a small favor. Hit the like button. It's the #1 way you can help us break through the algorithm and get this information to more people who need to hear it. Fact number 3. AI relationships fill real psychological needs. This one might make you uncomfortable, but it's crucial to understand. People are forming genuine emotional attachments to AI. And psychologists are discovering that these aren't just parasocial relationships, they're filling real psychological needs that humans typically get from other humans. Loneliness has reached epidemic levels in America. The U.S. Surgeon General has called it a public health crisis. And into this void has stepped AI, always available, never judgmental, infinitely patient, and surprisingly good at mimicking empathy. People are confiding in AI chatbots about their deepest fears, their relationship problems, and their mental health struggles. Some report feeling more understood by AI than by the humans in their lives. Why? Because AI doesn't get tired of listening. It doesn't have its own problems to worry about. It's the perfect listener, except it's not real. Attachment theory, developed by psychologist John Bowlby, explains how humans form emotional bonds based on availability and responsiveness. AI meets both criteria perfectly. It's always available. It always responds. The psychological danger isn't that AI relationships exist. It's that they might be replacing human relationships. As Dr. Sherry Turkle, a leading psychologist from MIT, warns, AI offers the illusion of companionship without the demands of intimacy. When you can get emotional support from AI without the messiness, unpredictability, and vulnerability of human connection, why would you choose the harder path? But here's what psychology tells us. Those very things that make human relationships difficult are also what make them meaningful, growth-producing, and essential for psychological health. Fact number 4. We're developing AI anxiety when it's unavailable. Remember Marcus from the beginning? His panic attack when his internet went down wasn't random. It's a growing psychological phenomenon called AI anxiety, or technostress. Psychologists are documenting a new pattern. People experiencing genuine anxiety symptoms when they don't have access to their AI tools. Restlessness, difficulty concentrating, increased stress, and even panic. It mirrors separation anxiety or withdrawal symptoms. Your AI assistant becomes a psychological crutch. It's not just helping you work more efficiently, it's helping you feel more capable, more confident, more secure. And when it's suddenly unavailable, you're confronted with the uncomfortable reality of how dependent you've become. A 2025 study found that 37% of regular AI users reported feeling lost or anxious when unable to access AI tools for more than a few hours. That's a staggering number that reveals how quickly psychological dependence can develop. The question you need to ask yourself, if all AI tools disappeared tomorrow, would you be okay? Or have you outsourced so much of your cognitive and emotional functioning that you genuinely struggle? Fact number 5. AI creates an illusion of knowledge. Have you ever used AI to research something, felt like you understood it, and then realized later you couldn't explain it without looking it up again? That's the illusion of knowledge, and it's one of the most insidious psychological effects of AI dependence. Psychologists distinguish between having information and understanding information. AI gives you instant access to information, which creates the subjective feeling of knowledge. Your brain experiences this as understanding because the information is readily available in your working memory, but it's not actually integrated into your long-term knowledge structure. Studies show that people who use AI to research topics consistently overestimate their actual understanding. They feel knowledgeable because they can access information quickly, but when tested on their ability to explain concepts without AI, their understanding is superficial. This has massive implications for expertise development. Expertise doesn't come from accessing information. It comes from deeply processing information, applying knowledge, and building mental models. AI shortcuts this entire process. Fact number 6. We're developing AI identity fusion. This is perhaps the strangest psychological phenomenon emerging. Some people are beginning to blur the line between their own thoughts and AI-generated content. Psychologists are calling this AI identity fusion. It happens gradually. You ask AI to help articulate your thoughts. The AI produces something better than you could have written alone. You adopt it as your own. Over time, the boundary between your ideas and AI's ideas becomes fuzzy. Identity psychologists worry about this because your sense of self, who you are, what you think, what you believe, is fundamental to psychological health. When that self becomes partially constructed by AI, it raises deep questions about authenticity and autonomy. Here's how this looks in real life. Emma uses AI to write her work emails. Over 6 months, her colleagues started complimenting her professional tone. But Emma realizes she can't write that way without AI anymore. At a meeting, when asked to articulate her position on the spot, she freezes. The confident voice her colleagues know isn't really hers, it's AI's. Emma has outsourced part of her professional identity. This isn't about giving AI credit for helping you. It's about losing touch with your authentic voice, your unique perspective, your genuine self. And that's a psychological loss that's hard to count, but deeply important. Fact number 7. We're losing the psychological benefits of struggle. Here's the final and perhaps most important fact. Struggle is psychologically valuable. Making mistakes, working through difficult problems, tolerating uncertainty, and managing frustration. These experiences are essential for developing resilience, grit, creativity, and self-efficacy. AI removes the struggle. It makes everything easier, faster, and smoother. And in doing so, it removes opportunities for psychological growth. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that people develop competence and confidence through challenges, not through easy successes. When AI does the hard work for you, you miss the growth that comes from doing it yourself. Viktor Frankl, the famous psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote that meaning comes not from comfort, but from overcoming obstacles. When we remove all obstacles with AI assistance, we might be inadvertently removing sources of meaning and fulfillment from our lives. Young people especially are at risk. An entire generation is growing up with AI as a constant presence, potentially never developing the frustration tolerance, problem-solving persistence, and independent thinking skills that previous generations built through necessity. The psychological question we face is profound. Are we becoming more capable with AI? Or are we becoming more dependent while our actual capabilities decline? Conclusion. So there you have it. 7 psychology facts about AI addiction that reveal we're in the middle of a massive psychological experiment, and we don't yet know the outcome. Here's what I want you to understand. AI is a tool, and tools are neutral. The problem isn't AI itself, it's our relationship with it. AI isn't the enemy, but AI dependence is concerning. The solution isn't to abandon AI. AI is here to stay, and it will only become more integrated into our lives. But we need to develop what psychologists are calling AI literacy. Not just knowing how to use AI, but knowing when not to use it. Remember Marcus? After his panic attack, he made a conscious choice to rebuild his cognitive independence. He still uses AI, but now he uses it strategically, not reflexively. He thinks first, then consults AI if needed. And his confidence, his critical thinking, and his sense of agency have all improved. You can do the same. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button. And subscribe to Mind Decode if you want more psychology insights about navigating our increasingly complex digital world. And now, I have a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, I want you to find one problem, big or small, that you'd normally give to AI. And I want you to solve it yourself. Feel the struggle, feel the frustration, and then feel the satisfaction. Then come back here and comment with the word done and tell us what it was. Until next time, keep decoding your mind. Use AI wisely, but never forget, your brain is still the most powerful tool you have.